Air is a really interesting film. On the one hand, I might not seem like the target audience for this because I don't care about basketball, I don't wear Air Jordans, but at the same time, I love films about brands and companies and how they came to be. And this is certainly what we have here. The film was released in 2023. It's directed by Ben Affleck. It's written by Alex Convery. And we have a cast including Matt Damon, Jason Bateman, Ben Affleck, Viola Davis, Chris Messina. Great performances, great cast. We also have Damian Delano Young as Michael Jordan. And I will say, while I'm obviously aware of Michael Jordan, I don't know enough about him to say that this is a completely accurate representation of Michael Jordan, but I haven't heard anything to the contrary, and in general I think the performance there was pretty good. The performance across the board was really good, and the film is basically about how Nike came to work with Michael Jordan and create what seems to be a very successful product, and I learned quite a lot, which might not be that surprising since, as I said, on the face of it, I don't seem like the target audience for this, but I went into this with basically no knowledge, and I got a lot out of this. I got a lot of education from this, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It starts off with Nike having issues financially, and I didn't know that was a thing. It never occurred to me. I'm assuming this is all factually correct, but please feel free to mention if not. But it never occurred to me that that's kind of why they were pursuing this avenue. I just had always assumed that it was a logical partnership and they decided to go ahead with it. But it seems like actually it potentially saved the company, which, if true, is pretty incredible. And it's not an easy road. It's not just, one day they decided, let's see if we can work with Michael Jordan and everything's plain sailing. There are a lot of obstacles they have to overcome, and that's basically what the film is about. And I really thoroughly enjoyed that journey. I enjoyed the process of getting to know people involved in this and finding out ultimately how things developed. Again, I have no idea how accurate this is, but I haven't heard anything to suggest that it's wildly inaccurate. So I'm assuming it's generally pretty true to the real story. It also has 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb across 182,000 reviews and ratings, which is an incredible rating. So it seems to be really well received. The performances are great. Again, I don't know how true the personalities are in this to the real people. Again, if anybody has any information on that, I'd be very happy to hear that. And I don't really have any complaints. Also, now, whenever I see a pair of Air Jordans, I will automatically think of this film, and I will be able to think of the knowledge that I gained from this film. So for me, there was a lot of value in this. And I love films about brands and products. I don't know why. I find them so interesting. And there's always a lot to learn, at least if I don't know that much about the product beforehand. And that was definitely the case here. Really enjoyed the experience. Really had a lot of fun with it. Definitely a very fascinating film. Definitely some really interesting characters, and I got a lot of knowledge, which is always a big bonus for me. It's always something that I really thoroughly enjoy. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you're a Michael Jordan fan, a basketball fan, a Nike fan, then of course I recommend it. But even if you're like me and you don't care about basketball, you don't know a lot about Michael Jordan, and you don't really wear Nike, I don't have anything against Nike, just not the type of footwear that I often wear. In fact, growing up, I would wear Nike. Also, I know there's this Nike versus Nike debate. I've always said Nike my entire life, so it's not really possible for me to change that. I mean, I might. I kind of went back and forth, just as an aside, but it is actually relevant to the film, saying Adidas and then Adidas. And I will always go back and forth between the two, and I not consciously, but I can never decide how to pronounce it, and I think in time I will end up pronouncing Nike as Nike. But either way, that was a tangent. But I can't remember what I was saying now. Yes, I was about to say I actually grew up wearing Nike. Nike was my footwear, my trainer of choice. I had quite a lot of pairs of Nikes, not expensive Nikes or anything, just their kind of standard trainers, and they were so comfortable. But I don't wear trainers that often now. But if I did, I'd be very happy to go with Nike. And the film itself is really delightful, really fascinating, very educational for me. Great cast and performances. And ultimately, it's one that I'm very, very happy to recommend.